Welcome again to Joe Stunner Boxing. I just want to mention a couple of cards that are happening during this week that you may not be aware of, okay? And if you get a chance, have a look at them. Now, I don't think I will get a chance to watch them live because I'll be at work. Work always gets in the way of the real world, of real life. But tomorrow being Wednesday the 12th of March, there is a card in Australia headlined by Brock Jarvis, the once beaten Australian guy, and believe it or not, Keith Thurman. Keith Thurman, who we all thought was retired, and probably Keith Thurman thought he was retired. Let's be honest here. But this is a curious matchup. I think it's because it is. You are talking about a guy who's fought. I mean, God Almighty, he's fought what, like once in the last 3 years. I think he lost to. No, it's once in the last 5 years, isn't it? Because he lost to Manny Pacquiao in 2019. And then he had a little 12-round unanimous decision where I think he won most of the rounds against Mario Barrios. Barrios has only been beaten once at the time, but that was in 2022. So he hasn't fought at all for 3 years. And Brock Jarvis somehow has managed to, resurrect him. Maybe lure him into, well, obviously it's money, lured him across to Australia to fight for some serious money. And this is at 154, this fight. It's a super welterweight. Thurman made his name as a welterweight, former champ. Jarvis is, like I say, he's once beaten. He is 22 wins with 20 KOs, which rather flatters his power, I think, if you look at the quality of his opposition. And his one defeat came to Liam Paro, and he got absolutely obliterated in one round. But the thing about Jarvis is that he has got this, suicidal is the only word I can think of, or kamikaze perhaps is a better word, style, where he will just throw himself straight at you. I mean, this is what happened with Paro, and Paro chinned him. But he almost got stopped in one of his other fights. I can't remember the name of the opponent, but it was in America. And the opponent, who was an unheralded guy, almost had him out of there. And Jarvis hung on and ended up stopping the guy. But he has got a bit of pop to his punches, I suppose. But against Thurman, I mean, if Thurman has got, 70% of what he did have left, then he should get rid of Brock Jarvis pretty easily. And in the build-up, Jarvis is saying, "Oh, you're nothing, you're finished, this is my time now." And admittedly, like I say, Thurman hasn't fought for 3 years. And, one fight in 5 years, or 2 fights in 5 years, or whatever it is. I would still expect Thurman, if he's got anything left, to beat Jarvis, but you never know. You never know. We'll see. We'll see. Anyway, there's that. That's happening tomorrow, Wednesday the 12th. And then on Thursday the 13th, we've got one of those excellent cards from Japan that I keep banging on about, which I hope you pay attention to me, because if not, you really are missing out with Japanese boxing. There's so many great fights that they have on. They're really entertaining. Lower weight guys, of course. And this card is on, I think it will be an ESPN card, I think, ESPN Plus. And it's on, like I say, Thursday the 13th of March over in Japan, and it's headlined by Kenshiro Teraji, who is defending his WBC flyweight title over Seigo Yuri Akui possibly his name is. Now, I don't know much about Seigo Yuri Akui, other than that he's got 21 wins, 2 defeats and a draw, I think, at least according to BoxRec. But I know a fair bit about Kenshiro Teraji, who is a very, very fine fighter indeed. Very, very good fighter. Teraji, he's 33 years old now, and he doesn't look it. He calls himself the amazing boy, and he looks like about 15 years younger, like he's 18 or something. He does look like a boy. But no, he's 33. And he's got 24 wins with 15 KOs. One defeat, which he later avenged. He got stopped in 10 rounds by Masamichi Yabuki. He got stopped in 10 rounds. That was for the world, it was WBC light flyweight title. And then he reversed that defeat to Yabuki stopping him in only 3 rounds. And since then, he's beaten Anthony Olusoga, stopped him in 9 rounds. Heki Badlow, who'd seen better days, but he stopped him in 9 rounds. He got a majority decision over Carlos Canizales. And Canizales came in with a pretty decent-looking record, 26 wins, 1 draw, 1 defeat, I think it was. Majority decision, okay. Well, it was competitive, very, very good fight. And last time out, he stopped Christopher Rosales, again, someone who'd seen better days. That was, again, in defence of the WBC flyweight title. Stopped him in 11 rounds. So the amazing boy at 33, he's flying. I mean, he's still got plenty to offer. Now, Akui is another Japanese fighter, and I have to be honest, I haven't seen much of this guy. In fact, I probably have seen him. I just can't remember the fights. But I had a look at his box record before I started doing this video, and there aren't any really big Japanese names on there. He's fought his entire career in Japan, and his 2 defeats are stoppages. But they are earlier on in his career. They're about 6-7 years ago was the last one. So he's getting an opportunity. He's been, I think, Japanese flyweight champion, but this is his first world title tilt. Will he spring an upset? I would be surprised. Teraji is a good fighter. I would expect Teraji to win this by stoppage. But like I say, I can't say for certain because I haven't seen much of Akui, whatever his name is. I can't pronounce the name. But and on the undercard, by the way, is the aforementioned Anthony Olusoga, who is currently 8-1, beaten by Teraji. And he's taking on Hiroto Kayaguchi. And that's for the WBO flyweight title. So we've got a couple of world titles. Actually, I think one of the light flyweight titles is on the bill as well. WBO, I think it is. But that's 3 world title fights on one card. Olusoga and Kayaguchi. That's a good fight. Yeah. I mean, Olusoga, 8-1, like I say, only been beaten by Teraji. No shame in that. And Kayaguchi, he's about 30 now, 30, 31. He's another one who looks like he's about 12, but he's actually in his 30s. I mean, he was stopped by Kenshiro Teraji in 7 rounds. That was back in 2022, but that was for the light flyweight title. He's now up at flyweight. He's not a bad little fighter, Kayaguchi. I've seen him a few times. Olusoga's actually, he's from the USA, but he's well known to Japanese fans. He's fought, I think his last 4 fights in Japan, something like that. He's made a home there, where the little guys, the land of the little guys, really. And he's from the United States, actually. And I think his defeat to Kenshiro Teraji was, it was a game sort of a performance. And the Japanese like someone who's, even though he was pretty much outclassed, he hadn't had many fights at the time. He only had about 5 fights. And they liked him, the Japanese. So he sort of pitched his tent there. He's still only 26 years old. So he's got a chance. He's got a chance. I think he might be. I think he might beat Kayaguchi. I'll pick him to beat Kayaguchi, but we'll see. We'll see. And in fact, having said that, I think he might be. Is he the defending champion? I think he is. I'm trying to get him in, doing this off memory, but I think he won a vacant title. I can't remember who it's against in Japan. I should have looked this up, shouldn't I, before I started doing the video? But yeah, I think he won a vacant title in Japan, and that's why he pitched his tent there for good, because he kept going back to Japan to fight after the Teraji fight, he stayed in Japan, I think, and then he fought a few others. And I'm sure he picked up a vacant title, and it might be this one that's this WBO flyweight title that's he's fighting for tomorrow. It might be a defense against Kawaguchi, but I will pick him to beat Kawaguchi. Yeah, I'm picking him. And again, I mean, I can't emphasize enough. If you can see this card, have a look at it. I'm going to have to look at it when I get home, but bloody work gets in the way of everything, doesn't it? But anyway, just thought I'd remind you of those two cards that are on. One tomorrow on Wednesday, which is in Australia, and then the following day, the one in Japan. So have a look at those cards if you can. Hopefully someone will upload a few of the fights onto YouTube, if you know what I mean. And yeah, got any comments, leave them below. Subscribe to the channel, hit the like button, do all that good stuff, and spread the word about Joe Stunner Boxing. Much love to all of you. Bye for now.